So today we will discuss again about studying in UK. Particularly, we'll discuss about the eligibility criteria, the opportunities for scholarships with different universities, and what are the basic requirements. As I said, eligibility criteria is one of the most important things I think every student has to know. So what are the ways you can choose a university according to your profile? All this kind of guidance we are going to discuss today. So as a document, what you provide to the university, the most important document that you are going to share is something called statement of purpose or personal statement. Some universities call it as a personal statement. This is nothing but a crisp essay, which is not more than, generally, like many universities wanted less than 500 words. Some wanted less than 750 words. Some wanted more than 1000 to 1250 words. So it varies depending on each and every university's requirement. So this essay should communicate what is your intention. Why do you want to pursue this particular program? Why do you want to choose this particular country, and what are your future plans? You should also elaborate about like what made you to decide that you wanted to study this particular course. So these are some factors which you have to state very strongly. SOP plays almost 30 to 40% of your application process is like weighted based on your SOP itself. That's the statement of purpose. And then 2 letters of recommendation. Most of the universities in UK want 2 letters of recommendation. Few need only one. Rarely 1 or 2 universities may ask 3. That is like for example, students who are like having an education qualification which is older than 4 or 5 years, and you have some work experience for 3 to 4 years or more, you might have to have 2 academic letters of recommendation and at least 1 or 2 letters of recommendation from your workplace, that is from your immediate reporting bosses, people like that. So this letter of recommendation is not just like some conduct certificate or anything. This should talk about specific key skills that you have, the specific key skills that you have already like exhibited during your study or during your work under that particular faculty or that reporting bosses. So you should get this statement of purpose and letter of recommendation. Both these are very important documents which is like you have to prepare or get it drafted. Like you have to have proper text and proper information filled in this. So after statement of purpose and LOR, then you give the other documents which are like the IELTS scorecard. We will also discuss about IELTS requirements later on. It can be an IELTS, PT, Duolingo. There are many options nowadays, but most common thing is the IELTS scorecard. Then UK universities, most of them do not require GRE or GMAT unless and until it is with very few universities. They might ask you for a GRE or a GMAT score. GRE is generally not required for MBA programs. Some universities would prefer to have a student who has a GMAT score. So if you have a GMAT score, you can provide those. These are the external documents which you have to procure. The next set of documents will be your academic documents, which are your class 10, 12 scorecards. And if you are applying for a master's degree program or if you have already completed a bachelor's, you have to provide the all the 8th semester or 6th semester mark sheets, plus also the consolidated score report, plus also the copy of degree certificate, or if only the provisional degree certificate is available, you can provide that as well. This apart, you also have to have a complete, fully updated resume. This resume should contain all about you, like you should mention details about your extracurricular, co-curricular activities, what kind of projects you have involved in. It should have your complete information in terms of your academic and also your general perspective of your personal life. So as per your resume, whatever points you have mentioned, you should also have the sufficient documentation to explain what all your, prove whatever you have mentioned on your resume, like your educational qualifications. If you have any certificates, you need not attach it as part of your application, but if asked, you should be able to present those details. So you should also be careful when you're adding details on your resume. And finally, you should also provide, if you have any work experience or internship experience, you can add those documents. You should have preferably documents like your offer letter and your current performance review or something like that. So those things will be an added advantage to mention that you are currently employed and you do not have any gaps. This is again one of the very important things. You should demonstrate very clearly, like you did not have any major gaps in your academic or career profile. So that is why we have the resume in place and showing the work experience documents and all that. So this is all about the application checklist. Yeah, so you should also add a personal identification document, which is obviously your passport copy. So when you apply to any foreign university, you have to have your passport copy attached. So these are the complete document checklist. The general document checklist. There are some universities which might have a little different kind of a document checklist, but mostly these are the documents which you will need to apply to any UK universities. So after the checklist, what we have to understand is a lot of factors decide how you are becoming eligible to apply to a particular university. So let's discuss one by one the different kind of factors which are going to. So we'll start with your academic qualification. Obviously, that is the previous qualification. That is like if you have completed class 12 or if you have completed a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, you should have that certificates. Students who are in the final year, yes, you can apply with whatever results you currently have, final year or even the class 12 students. So even the 11th standard scorecard or the 6th sem results, that should be sufficient to initialize your application so that you can get a conditional offer. So coming to different levels of academic requirements, you will be surprised to know almost any UK universities, most of the UK universities accept a student with a second class bachelor's degree. So second class bachelor's degree in the sense a student with above 60% in your bachelor's or class 12, you will be eligible to apply to almost every university in UK. There are specific certain courses where they may ask for a first class degree as well. Mostly it is like courses which are in high demand or programs which are like considered to be little complex. So in those cases, you might require a first class degree, otherwise a second class degree should do. And there is also a different kind of a criteria. Within the second class, the universities have two different stages, 2:1 and 2:2. So this is nothing but second class first division, which is mentioned as 2:1 in most of the UK universities website. This indicates the requirement is 60 to 69% at least. And if the requirement is mentioned as 2:2, that means second class, second division, which can be 50 to 60%. So I mean to say that most of the universities will accept, even if a student is having only 50%, you are eligible to apply. But still, when it comes to what kind of percentage the universities will accept, you should have at least 54+%. There are some exceptional cases, some universities accept students with lower scores, but in general, anything above 54 or 55 is considered safe. And if you have a first class degree or a degree with a distinction, 70, 80, 90% or 8 GPA, 9 GPA, yes, of course, you are going to be eligible to apply. Any which ways, early application is very important. Just having a score and applying in the last minute is not going to help. So next, after your academic qualification, if you have any work experience, so that also counts when you are applying for a university in UK. Say for example, most of our students in India, they study courses like electronics engineering or EEE, that is electronics and electrical, and they want to work in the IT sector. And later, when you apply to a university for a different program, that is after your ECE, since you have had some work experience in the IT sector, you want to continue with an IT related program, then definitely you should have these proof that you have worked in the IT industry and you have developed the interest in this. So you have to add all these points in the statement of purpose also, like why do you want to shift from one stream to other also. So you should mention these things and you will be able to apply. For that, you will need some work experience in that particular field, or if you are a fresher, that is if you are a final year student or if you have just graduated from college, you can even add some documents like if you have done some specific courses in that particular field that you are newly applying to, you can add those things. You can state that you have interest in this field, you have got new interest in this field, so you started learning this particular subject and you want to continue your higher studies in that particular field. You can do this as well. So these come under additional qualification, and also based on your work experience, your interest. Definitely UK universities always are little flexible, accepting a student from different kind of academic background into a program which may be totally different kind of a stream. So if you have studied, say for example, an engineering program and applying for a management degree, this is I think very common. So most of the students will be aware. But if you have studied a management degree and you have worked in the engineering sector for 3-4 years and you want to study engineering, yes, it is possible in UK, but these are exceptional criteria. So you should prove, or you should provide documentation to clearly state and prove that you have a deep interest in the field, and if you have work experience, then it is going to be working in favor. But still, in terms of criteria, if you have, you also have to prove your knowledge in mathematics, that is in this case from management to engineering. Definitely a student without strong foundation in mathematics cannot do an engineering program. So mathematics or related subjects, knowledge in related subjects is really very important. You will, as I mentioned, UK universities are always welcome for a course change, but you have to prove your interest or your experience in that particular field of study. Then coming to, I spoke about the percentage requirement with different universities. As I said, any student with 50 plus or 60 plus, yes, you can apply to most of the UK universities. Now, there are also some grading system. So in UK, they have different, every university have their own criteria. Some universities follow something called NARIC, N-A-R-I-C. You can Google NARIC. This is nothing but a portal where universities are able to assess what level of university your previous academic qualification is from. So sometimes if they accept a 2:1 degree, that is like 60 to 69% in general, they may not accept certain universities' qualifications in that range, because might be the university feels that particular qualification is not up to their grading system. So you have to be aware of these things, which is like kind of little difficult for as a student perspective. As counselors, we at Global Degrees are here to help you and support you with these eligibility points. Yeah, and I always come across this particular question, like what is the age limit to apply to a UK university or to a foreign university? So normally there is no specific age limit. Most of the UK universities, or many foreign universities for that matter, welcome senior students, more senior students or older people to come and study there. But still, in general terms, if you are like 27, 28 or younger, it is much easier. There are very less questions asked when you are in that particular age limit. But if you are more mature, you have to choose programs which are more mature. So like students who are like 35 plus going for an MBA program is a very common thing, because MBA is for senior managers. So definitely that is acceptable. Whereas there are even fresher MBAs. Many universities offer MBAs for students who have just come out of college. So there are different kind of criteria. So we will help you out with that. In general, I meant to say, if the student is more mature, then they have to prove that they were employed or they were engaged in some work or the other during this time period, either academic or professional career or job, something. You have to have the proper documentation of this academic gap. So that is important in order to qualify even if you are an older student. So it won't be a problem. So coming to the most interesting topic, which is about English language test. So this is something where a lot of students have confusions if I should take IELTS or TOEFL, if I should take PTE. So a lot of new exams have come in the recent years. Coming to English language requirements, UK universities have something called Standard English Language Test Policy. So as per this, obviously IELTS is the most popular examination when it comes to students who want to come and study in UK. So students will be required to take this examination called IELTS Academic. So IELTS Academic is an examination which is out of 9 bands. It has 4 modules: reading, writing, listening and speaking. So you are required to have a minimum score in order to apply for certain programs. These scoring ranges may be different from university to university and program to program, but in general, if you are applying for a bachelor's degree in UK, you have to have minimum 6.0 in your IELTS, that is the overall band, and minimum 5.5 in the individual 4 bands. All bands should be above 5.5. There are exceptions, as I said. And coming to the post-graduation part, you will be requiring a minimum of 6.5 with individual bands not less than 6. As I mentioned, exceptions are always there. Many universities accept 6.0 with individual bands 5.5 also. And for certain programs, particularly more popular universities or more competitive universities or more competitive programs have a higher IELTS requirement, or higher ranked universities may have a higher IELTS requirement. Particularly if you are going for courses like law, for example. So many universities prefer to enroll a student who has 7.0 or more in IELTS. In many cases, universities want module-specific courses also. Some cases, like for example, if you are going for a law program, universities might ask you to have at least 7.0 in writing. Even if your overall band is 7.0, fine, but writing should be 7.0 for sure. So these are some requirements again. Students who do not fulfill this criteria, you have a lot of other options which I will explain you, which are perfectly acceptable as per the UK VI guidelines, which are some exceptions allowing you to come and study in UK. So exceptions as in, firstly, many universities accept a student with 65 or 70 or 80% in your class 12 English. So almost I would say minimum 70% of all the universities accept a student who has this kind of a score. So the eligibility requirement, that is the particular scoring requirement, might be different from university to university, but in general it is like above 70, or with respect to the top 30 universities, maybe top 30 or top 40 universities, they may be preferring students with above 80%, preferring as in like they may give a waiver from taking the English language test if the student has scored class 12 English marks as above 80%. So these are some simple criteria, and there are also options. Students can get a medium of instruction letter from the latest academic qualification board. That is from your college or from your school, you can get the medium of instruction letter, that is stating that you have studied this particular course completely in English. So that can also help with some universities which are accepting the medium of instruction letter. Thirdly, there is also an option, particularly in this COVID situation, a lot of students may have difficulty going out for a particular specific examination. So you have an option of taking the internal exams which are conducted by specific universities also. Many universities conduct these internal exams as a part of their admission process. So it is more similar to IELTS or PTE, so you can attend this examination. Once the university, if the university feels you're satisfying their requirements, you will get the acceptance letter accordingly. So these are some ways. There are also some options, like some universities, say for example, University of Leicester. This is one institution which will accept any student with a good academic profile from universities like Anna University and Madras University, or Bangalore University or University of Hyderabad. Such popular universities, I mean graduates of these popular universities will be having an IELTS waiver just based on your academic qualification. But obviously, as I mentioned, this is like decided on an individual basis. So based on your class 12 marks, based on your scores in your degree, all these factors are going to decide on this. There are also some universities which offer admissions for students from certain boards like CBSE and ICSE board. I mean, as I said, like I was mentioning about the class 12 English course, if a student is from, I mean, some universities may accept certain boards alone, that is like CBSE and ICSE alone. Many will accept a specific set of states, say for example, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu boards are accepted by most of the universities. So there are, as we discussed elaborately today, there are many factors which are very specific, course specific or university specific, lot of things to decide how your application works. But as I said, studying in UK is definitely not a big challenge or a very tough thing. Any student can apply to UK universities. The entry criteria are accommodating for most of the students, so don't hesitate that you have got only 60% or 55%. Don't worry at all. You can study and take a corrective measure to develop your career in a better way in the future. So we are here, Global Degrees is here to help you and support you in each and every stage of your process, right from choosing the right institution according to your requirements and academic profile. We support you until you receive your visa and fly and enroll in the particular university. We provide onshore support also until you graduate. We provide all the basic, practically possible kind of assistance for all our students. So we look forward to assist you and guide you in a better way for your career. Keep in touch with us, ask us your questions. We will discuss further and respond back to you.